everyone, welcome to the online version of speech communication. My name is Professor Hubbard and this is your very first video for your very first week. We will be going over a lot more and I'm going to be telling you a lot about this, but before we dive in, let me just kind of tell you a little bit about myself. So first, my name is Professor Hubbard and I teach is my career, clearly. I'm here teaching you. I also teach at WT, so West Texas A&M University. That's my main school I teach at, and I also teach at a college prep school in Amarillo. I just do this one section of online speech for OPSU. I have a BS, a bachelor's, and a master's in communication, and I'm working on my doctorate as well. So I love this field. It's great. I have a lot of knowledge in it, and there's tons to know. So I'm always going, and just a very, very vast field. And this class is only going to scrape the surface. A little bit more about me. I have a wife. Her name's Megan. This is my son, Gideon. He is going to be 1 in March. So he's just 10 months old now. And then I have a dog, Oliver, who was not a part of this Christmas photo. But this is my son, Gideon, and my dog, Oliver, who are like the two best people in my life, not including my wife. Okay, so what we're going to be doing the rest of today is we're going to be looking at the class itself. So this is the syllabus. To get to the syllabus, all you have to do, let me make sure my mouse is right, go to the class content and it's in overview. So click on that and you will be good to go. Okay, so as we go, I'm going to kind of be scrolling through here to show you what we're doing. Normally I'm just going to have a PowerPoint to help you, or I might just be writing on the board, but I'm actually going to have the paper up here to help you. So first off, again, my name is Professor Hubbard. Okay, you can email me. That's the best way to contact me. I have an office at WT and a classroom at Ascension Academy. I do not have anything at OPSU. I've actually never been on the campus, so you can email me. I reply within 24 hours. Normally I reply within a couple hours, unless you're emailing me at midnight and I'm sleepy. Okay, we will be using a textbook in this class, so you can look right here, and it's also going to be in the bookstore. You can get it from Amazon. You can get it from wherever you would like, but here it is. It's an older textbook. It's almost 10 years old, but right now it's the best one to work with. There are a couple more that I like a lot better than this one, but they're a lot more expensive. So I'm choosing to stay with this one because I can alter my lessons to fit this book. Now realize, you are doing an online class. That being said, you have to read everything. There are going to be parts of the test, parts of items that you might be reading and you say, we never covered that in an online lesson. No, but it's in the textbook, like definitions and different things like that. I'm going to go over the main ones and the important ones, but the textbook is how you're going to learn a lot as well. Being an online class, you've got to read the whole syllabus. You need to read every single chapter of that book. When I give you an online reading, you need to read it, because I'm not in person and I'm not there to answer your questions and do all of that. You can always email me, but you need to read everything. So this textbook is very important. Some of the midterm and some of the final, I'm going to just get straight from the textbook, so you are digging into the textbook and actually using it there. Now realize, with the midterm and with the final, you're more than welcome to have your textbook open to look for these answers, but you still need the textbook. Okay, you can read through here, but basically this class is going to teach you how to use visual aids, how to cite sources, both verbally and writtenly, and then how to speak interpersonal and public speaking. Communication is more than just standing up in front of a group of people and talking. I'm going to teach you how to work on your skills by yourself, your interpersonal skills, your one-on-one skills, your group skills, and different things like that. Okay? And we're going to learn how to use visual aids and different things when it just comes to communication in general. This is not just about public speaking. It's about the basics of communication to assist you with communication and public speaking itself. So looking at it, you can read a lot of this on your own, and I want you to read a lot of this on your own. Okay? So looking at the speeches, there are going to be 4 speeches total. The first speech is going to be the introduction speech. I have an example of the introduction speech that you can go look, and it's under speech help. So you can look under that tab, which I'll go through that in a second. But the first one is ungraded. The reason I want you to do this is I want you to see how difficult it might be to upload a speech. If you're doing it from your phone, it might take a really long time if your internet's slow. It might take 2 minutes if your internet's fast. It could take anywhere from like 2 hours, if not longer, to 2 minutes. I just want you to see how easy/difficult it can be and actually do it. A lot of times when people submit their very first speech, it's in a way that I can't read it. So then I can email you back and say, okay, let's try it again. Then you can start sending me stuff where you're understanding how to do this. So when we get to your graded speeches, then you're not going, I don't know how to do this, and I have to redo my speech again because I didn't submit it right. The introduction speech is not graded. So first of all, I can get to know you a little bit. And second of all, you can kind of work on learning how to upload a digital speech, okay, in a video. Now, the other three are graded. So you're going to have a demonstration speech. You're going to demonstrate how to do something. You're going to have an informative speech. You're going to inform us about something. And you're going to have a persuasive speech. Yes, you got it. You're going to tell us you're going to persuade us to do something. Okay, and I'm going to give you more details on that as they come. You have a speech due basically every month. So the end of this month is your introduction, and sometime in February you have your demonstration speech, and then you're going to have your informative speech a little around spring break area, and then in the end of April you're going to have your persuasive speech, and then in May you're going to have your final, the very beginning of May. So realize that you're going to have one due every week. I'm going to try to get stuff back to you right away. So if I say, do you know you say like 50 times? Then for your next speech you can work on it, and we can get better and you can improve. Because it's hard not having right away being like, hey, here's some things you can work on. I'm going to have to go through every single class member's speech and realize it's not just you. There's a lot of other people. And if your speech is 6 minutes long, it's going to take me a very long time to do that. Now, as we go, attendance and participation. Now, you don't have to come to class. That's what's great. But you do have to do something every single week for this class. First is attendance. I have you do some discussion boards. So you're going to maybe do something, read something, look at something, and then you're going to post a discussion. You will then have 2 replies to 2 classmates, okay? So you cannot reply to the same classmate. It needs to be 2 different classmates, 2 replies. I want full sentences, I want spelling correctly, all of that stuff. And it cannot just be the, oh, I agree, and that's it. Tell me a little bit more, give me a couple sentences. And so you need to do that every single week. So for participation, you're going to have more of an activity type. Every single time, if you came to an in-class class with me, every single class, we have an activity. I have you up, I have you moving, I have you debating, I have you walking around, I have you running around campus one time. But this class, I can't really do that. So you're going to do that on your own. And you're going to have to write a reflection type paper or submit a different type of assignment. This week, you're going to be answering questions for the syllabus for the very first week. You're going to take a very short syllabus quiz. Feel free to have your syllabus open and use it as a key. I just want to make sure it's basically saying, when does this due? When does this due? So when it comes, you're not saying, oh, I didn't know that was due. We had it on the syllabus so I can make sure you're actually looking at it, because it's very important to know due dates. I've taken an online class a couple times. One time I didn't ever look at anything, forgot to submit. It was really, really bad, and I came to the end and I did really well because after the midterm I submitted everything, but it was really bad at the beginning. So make sure you submit everything. That's the key to this class. It's very simple if you submit everything. Speaking of submitting stuff, I do not accept late work for the attendance and the participation and the weekly stuff that happens every week. For the late assignments, I give you 10-point deduction. I will have the speeches open for a couple extra days. So if I say it's due on Monday, it will be due on Sunday, not Monday. So then I'll leave it open on Monday, and after Monday night, I will not accept it. But I'll give you an extra day, and if you submit it late, it's going to be 10 points deducted, but 10%. So if it's 10 points, it'll be 10%, okay? Because all speeches are going to be 100 points. Now, class behavior, this is basically just with the discussion boards. You're not going to post anything and say F you or different things like that. Don't do that, or you're not going to get a good grade, and I probably won't allow you to do discussions from there on out, okay? Written assignments, you need to post everything. Your posts, your outlines, and everything need to have correct spelling, grammar, and different things like that. I understand a couple spelling errors, so if you have spelling and grammar errors here and there, that's okay. You're going to get a few points docked, not that big of a deal. But please, capitalize your I's. When you're saying, I'm going to the school, capitalize I. Use basic grammar. I understand we're not all going to be the best grammar and the best spelling people. That's fine. Basic stuff here and there. You might get a couple points docked on certain papers, and as you go throughout participation, if you have one misspelling, I really probably won't dock you a lot. But if you do not capitalize your I's, do not use punctuation, basic stuff like that, then you will get docked points. Citation. You need to use APA format citation. This goes in within your speeches, within your outlines, within your paper, everything. You need to give credit to where credit is due. A lot of you might know APA, a lot of you probably don't. I have a tab, which I'll show you in a second, and it's called APA Help, and you can go to that tab and it shows you everything how to do it and what you can do, how to do it for APA. And then I give you some links that I've created and some links to go to Purdue Owl that helps you out a little bit more. Speech attire. When you're giving a speech, do not wear hats, do not wear caps, do not do different things like that. Make sure you dress appropriately. Now, I'm not saying for your first couple speeches, for your demonstration speech or introduction speech, you can wear a t-shirt and jeans. That is perfectly fine. But you do not need to wear something that's this short, or it goes right here and I can see your belly. Okay, guys, I don't want to see that. Come on. But you need to make sure that you dress appropriately. For your informative speech, you're going to need to dress a little bit nicer. For your persuasive speech, you're going to need to dress up. Mainly because, so you can kind of see certain attire, and we're going to talk about nonverbal and what attire looks like, okay? But if you're, for your first two speeches, t-shirt, jeans, shorts, different things like that, that's perfectly fine. It needs to be appropriate, does not need to be very short or anything like that. And your shirt does not need to say something very bad, okay? Now, a lot of this is on most of your syllabuses throughout, so make sure you just read it. But basically, behave well, do not plagiarize. If you plagiarize, I can kick you out of the university, yada, yada, yada. Here's the stuff that's very important. Participation. We already talked about that a little bit. It's 15 points. Attendance. It's 10 points. We talked about that as well. Those are every single week, so make sure you do those. Your demonstration speech, here's what you need to do. You need to demonstrate something. That's going to be 100 points. Informative speech, you're going to inform us on something. Persuasive speech, you're going to persuade us on something. You can read more about that as you go. Realize the points here, I don't know why, say 150, 100, and then 50 points. That is incorrect. They're all worth 100 points because I've adjusted that since last semester. Now, you will need to submit an outline for every single speech you do, okay? Even your first speech that's not graded, that first outline is also not graded. But that's to help you practice so I can give you some feedback. But you need to submit an outline for every single speech you do. For visual aids, you're only going to submit 2 visual aids. It's going to be for your informative and for your persuasive. Now, I know it's very hard to do some type of visual aid, but when you do submit visual aids, I want you to have something like this with you. A lot of you might have a TV that hooks up to an HDMI, and your computer has an HDMI. That's great. If you have like a PlayStation or an Xbox, or anything like that, normally you have some form of HDMI cord. What I recommend, use your TV that you use every day. You get your computer, plug it into the HDMI to your TV. That is great. It can give you a plug and it can help you out there. Now, with that, you can also go to different organizations and different things like that to use projectors and do different things like that. I do not recommend having a little tiny computer to help you with visual aids, because that doesn't give you the full effect of what we're wanting to do and actually how to use visual aids. One time I had someone actually create the PowerPoint, and then they printed out PowerPoint on big pieces of paper, so each slide is a big piece of paper, and when they switched to the next slide, they put the paper down for the next slide. That is perfectly fine. I just want you to have some form of visual aid that's not like a tiny little computer screen. I want you to have a little bit bigger visual aid to help you out. Now, speaker critique. You are going to have a speaker critique, and you need to submit that by the end of the semester. You can submit it the very first day of class if you want. You have to go to a live, yes, I said live speaker. I know this is online, but I want you to do a live speaker. It could be, if you go to church, your preacher at your church. It could be someone who came to do a special speech in your class, a classmate who's doing a speech. It needs to be live though. Don't go to TED Talks and do different things like that, because live has a different feeling. If you do not do live, you're going to get a lot of points docked. So do a live speech. So when you go, it's very simple. Just take notes on the information we talked about in class. More than likely, you're going to submit it closer to the end, because you're going to want to talk about all the things we were talking about in class. But you're going to talk about their nonverbals. You're going to want to talk about their attire, different things like that, their vocals, their pitch, their rate, and all of that. Okay? Now, midterm exam, there's another typo right there. It happens. So if you have a typo, that is perfectly fine. I do it, and I've done this class many times. Your midterm exam is worth 100 points, not 10. After 8 weeks, you're going to have a midterm exam. It's going to cover the first part of it, And then your final exam is going to be the very end. It's going to cover the second part. Your final exam is also worth 100 points. They're both equally weighted. This covers the first half of the semester, this covers the second half. The final is not cumulative, so it's half and half. Okay? Now, here's some help on submitting information. So for your speeches, you can record it on your phone, you can use a video camera, a tablet, whatever. I do not care, whatever works best for you. So you can record it, and then you can either upload it straight to the Dropbox. I recommend sometimes going to YouTube and uploading there, and then dropping the link. So I just click on it, and I go to your YouTube page, and it's right there. That's perfectly fine. Whatever you find best. I just have to somehow have the video. Give me like an MP4 or something like that. A lot of times if you do iMovie, it will not work. I used to have a Mac, it crashed. I have not bought a Mac again, so I'm using a PC right now, and my work desktops, all three of them are PCs. So if you submit an iMovie, it will not work. So submit an MP4. If you have iMovie, it's very simple to export it to an MP4. So just do that extra step for me. If you don't, then you're really not going to get a grade. So make sure you submit an MP4. Now, participations, outline, papers, anything you're going to submit like that. Submit it with a Microsoft Word document. That is the best. Or a PDF if you have something like, map pages or something like that. Do not do Google Docs. Don't ever submit Google Docs. You're in college now. Google Docs works great for group work and different things like that when you're in high school. When you're in the professional setting, such as college, you need to make sure that you're using something sophisticated like Microsoft. So make sure you submit Microsoft Word or you do a PDF. Now the reason we do that, Google Docs, there's just so many issues. You send me the link and you might forget to share it with me, or you might forget to open it where I can have editing or visual abilities, different things like that. And sometimes Google just is messing up. So make sure you do not submit Google Docs to me because it's a lot of times more hassle than it is. Okay, if you use Google Docs or map pages, just submit me a PDF. That's perfectly fine. But don't submit one of these two because most of the time than not, it's not going to work. Trust me, I've done this online class for a couple of years. It's probably not going to work. Okay, and you need to make sure you do APA. Attendance, you just have to submit it to the discussion box and submit it and then reply to classmates, and that's all. Okay, so right here I kind of laid out all the grades. So attendance, it's 10 points each. Participation, 15 points each. There's 15 weeks that you have those for a total of 150 and 225. So you can kind of look here, and at the end, it all totals out to 1,000 points. So here's the breakdown. If you have in the 900s up to 1,000, then you will have an A. Anything in the 800s, you have a B. Anything in the 700s, you have a C. Anything in the 600s, you have a D. Anything in the 500s or below, you have an F in the class. So here's how you can calculate your grade. Now, the system that we use is great because it calculates percentage, but you can also go through and you can add up your points. Some people are able to add up their points, and they're able to say, hey, everything that I have, I only need to make like a 32 on the final to make an A in the class. And that really helps you out. Okay? Now, this is the most important section of the syllabus. The other stuff's information, but you need to print this out and keep it and make notes or do whatever, or find it easily accessible. This is the weekly items. So as you can see here, here's the week. So week 1, week 8, whatever. Okay? And then here's the date. So 1-7, that stands for January 7th. 2-18, February 18th. Okay? So that's how you read that. So it's the week and then the lesson. This is what we're going to be doing. So first, this is the week we're in right now. Learning about the class. You're learning how to use the online system. You're learning how to use this, look at the syllabus. You're learning how to use everything and what I'm going to be grading. So then you go and you have a reading / special assignments. Realize it's not every assignment. It's special assignments. So this reading is a syllabus. I want you to read the syllabus, which we're going through right now. But next week you're going to need to read chapter 1, and then you're going to need to read an article I'm going to post online. Okay, and different things, like right here I'm going to have online readings because the textbook doesn't include certain things, so I'm going to give you online readings. Now, you have special assignments posted on here. Your weekly assignments are not on here. So, right here, your introduction speech. It's due the end of week 3, so January 27th. Everything is always due on Sunday. except when we get to the very end with special assignments right down here, which I'll cover in a second. But everything is always due at Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Okay? So you have the introduction speech and the outline that goes with it, due January 27th. Right here, you have your, a couple weeks later, you have your demonstration speech. The week after that, you have your midterm. Okay, I open up the midterm, I'm going to open it up on week 7, and it goes until the end of week 8. So that means you have 2 weeks to do it. Okay? So looking at that, you have 2 weeks, but realize, right here, the organizing your speech, that's going to be on the midterm. So I would recommend you waiting until here, but if you are swamped week 8, I give you 2 weeks to do it. Okay, but it is closed right here in week 8. Okay? And then right here, your informative speech is due. We have spring break, nothing's due during spring break. Okay? We have Easter break, but realize, just because it's Easter on Sunday doesn't mean you do not have something due. You can submit on Friday if you like. That's Good Friday. But you can submit on Wednesday. That week I just give you until Sunday to do stuff. So hopefully you have scheduled out a day within the week to do something. So if you schedule out Wednesday, you can still submit it on Wednesday. Okay, so everything opens Monday at midnight, and then everything closes Sunday at 11:59. So you have 1 minute that is dark in the class, where there's really nothing that you can submit, nothing that's open. Okay, so make sure that you still submit, even though it's Easter. You still have 4 days that campus is open that you can still submit. Okay, and then right here at the end is where the dates kind of change. So speaker critique is due May 1st, which is in the middle of the week, and then the final exam closes May 5th. So make sure you follow these dates and mark them down in your planner. Do whatever works best for you. Okay? And right here, this is just a reminder that you have weekly participation. Now, before we go, I want to show you kind of the online system. Now, realize yours is going to look different than mine, so you can go and change and different things like that. Okay? So first, the class participation instructions, yours is going to look different than mine because I have everything open and live to me, but not everything's open and live to you. Okay, so when you go to content, class participation instructions, this is everything we just went over. Okay, so you can go here and you can go look more about what is the attendance / discussion. What do you have to do? You can look at what is the participation. What did we just say? You can look at that. Okay, submitting work. This kind of tells you a little bit more about it. You need to submit work correctly. If you do not submit work correctly within the first 5 weeks, I'm going to ask you to submit it again. No points docked, but that's your first offense, okay? So the second offense, I'm going to email you, and I'm going to ask you to resubmit it, and I'm going to lose points, or you're going to lose points. The third offense, I'm just not going to grade. Okay, so that's the third time, your third warning. After the first 5 weeks, the assignment will not be graded. If I never gave you a warning a little bit after that, then I might be lenient and I might say, hey, just resubmit it. But realize, within the first 5 weeks, you should know how to submit your items properly. So then you need to go here. If you do not submit it correctly the first time, not a big deal. I understand we're learning, doing different things like that. I'll ask you to resubmit it correctly. Then you should have learned. I'll dock points if you don't submit it correctly the next time. If you submit it incorrectly 3 times, I'm just going to stop grading it. Okay? But I will always look at it if you submit something the next week. If you're having tech issues, make sure that you email me. Email me within 24 hours. I will probably reply. Okay, so earlier than 24 hours deadline. I will work with you. If you're saying, hey, I need to submit this speech or this paper, but my internet's down, or it's not uploading correctly, different things like that. If it's within 24 hours of the deadline, I'm going to probably email you back and say, okay, keep me updated, let's work with it, let's figure out ways you can do it. If you're emailing me on Sunday and you say, hey, I'm having issues submitting my speech, and it's due in like 10 minutes, then I'm going to say, oh, well, that really stinks. Sorry. That just stinks. Okay? But if you do not email me before 24 hours, more than likely you're not going to get that much help. Because I don't check my emails much on Sunday. I might check it once, maybe twice, but that's basically it. If you email me 12 to 24 hours, I might reply, but if you email me less than 12 hours, more than likely you're just not going to get a grade on that. Because you have 1 full week to do all of this, okay? You literally have 1 minute less than a full week to do something, okay? Now, looking over here, you can look. Right here is APA help. So if you go here, you can click on it. I have a workshop uploaded for you, so you can click on that and you can go do the workshop. I have a paper that I've created to help you. I have links to Purdue OWL, just the APA information. I also have links to the Purdue OWL page to give you a sample paper, okay? And then, if you need help for this speech, you can go here. I give you information on an example outline. Hey, how to use PowerPoint successfully, different things like that. And then if you go here, realize that it's closed for you right now, so you won't see it. But the midterm and the final, they are right there. So I will give you I will tell you, here is your review guide, and then here is going to be your midterm. Here is your review guide. I'll always post the review guide a week before I start doing the actual test opens. Okay? And then speech submissions. This is where you're going to submit all of your speeches. So your introduction, you can go there and it's live right now to you. Your introduction speech, your outline, everything that goes part of it. Your demonstration speech, your demonstration outline, your informative speech, outline. Then you have visual aid, persuasive speech, outline, visual aid. You all submit it here under this tab. And then the speaker critique. You have the speaker critique right here. You just submit it here, and here's the information that's given to you. Now, here is a weekly basis. So you can see right here, I have week 1 all the way through 15 uploaded, ready to go. I will have videos. Everything will go live to you for that week, Monday at midnight. So some of you might still be up, but when the week starts, it will go live to you. When the week ends, the drop boxes and everything that's due will go dark, but all the assistance, the PowerPoints, the videos, and everything will still stay live the whole time. So week 1, this video will always be live to you. You can always come back. Every lesson video I do, which I'll do this every single week, and the videos are about 20 minutes. This one's a little bit longer because I'm going over a lot. But you just go here. Okay, so let's look, and if you go to this week, it tells you right here. So I give you a PowerPoint. Here's the video. Here's your attendance, and here's your participation. Okay, so for week 1, you have a quiz that you're going to have to do. Yes, right here. Your participation is a quiz. Okay? Your attendance, I'm going to ask you basically a simple prompt. This is your simple prompt. When looking at public speaking, what do you find to be the scariest part? And explain. Remember that you need to do your post and reply to 2 classmates' posts. Okay? So this week you're going to need to post to this, and you're going to need to do the quiz. The quiz is over the syllabus. Everything we just went over. It's mainly focusing on dates and different things like that. So you can have the syllabus out and use it. This being an online class, every time I give you a test, every time you have a final, a midterm, you have some form of something that is due. Always, always, always have your textbook with you, the information with you, open up Google, whatever you think that could help. Have these lessons, the PowerPoints. Feel free to do that. Use your resources. I want you to be able to do this. I'm not asking you to memorize all of this stuff, because I understand in the real world, someone's not going to come up and ask you and say, hey, what is this theory, or what does this mean? I want you to be able to understand that, oh, I've heard that before. I can look it up and understand everything. A lot of the things I ask you to do in this class, you're running around and you're going to be applying what we learned and how to use it. So it helps you remember it. In a way, instead of memorizing it, you're going to be, oh, I remember that. We did the activity with it. Because I don't memorize things that well. And if you have to memorize everything in every single class, your brain's going to explode. So make sure that you do that. So here's how you do it. Again, your stuff's going to look different than mine because I have everything up, ready to go, and I've been doing these videos the past couple days and getting everything set up. Okay? If you have any questions, email me. I reply very quickly to an email. I check it constantly throughout the day. Again, if you have issues, tech issues, let me know. I'm more than happy to work with you. Perfectly fine. I understand being an online class, we're going to have tech issues. Read everything and make sure that you're doing everything. Stay on top of this class. You stay on top of it. It's going to be very simple. And make sure that you look at all my replies. And I will email you weekly. So make sure you check your emails every single week, because I'm going to let you know about what you need to do for this week. I'm also going to tell you, hey, we're having a lot of issues here. Make sure you're not one of the people who are doing this, because sometimes everyone's having an issue in the same area, meaning I didn't explain it that well. So I'm going to email you out and say, hey, 20 of you didn't do this correctly, so make sure we're doing this correctly. Sometimes it might be like, hey, 2 of you are doing this, and I don't want to point everyone out, or I don't want to point you out, so I'm going to say, hey, a couple of you are doing this, and it might be you and someone else are the only persons who are doing it, and I want you to not be pointed out and everyone to learn from your own mistake. Okay? If you have any questions, let me know. I'm happy to help. Go over the syllabus, email me, make sure you look through all of this, and you will be good to go. I'm excited that you're all in the class, and I'm excited to see all your introduction videos. Remember, those are due at the end of the month. Have a great day. Bye.